Happy Friday, everybody. The heat broke here in the Bay Area, and we're back to our lovely seasonable weather. It's Friday. It's time for Pilates. I am so happy to be here to do this with you. We've got 45 minutes of flow style class. Bare feet or socks, I would recommend. If your feet are bothering you, you're welcome to have shoes on if that does feel more comfortable. It helps you feel more steady on your feet when we are up doing some balancing work. Grab a cushion for when we're on hands and knees if you think you might want that little extra bit of padding in that generally unpadded area. Go ahead and grab that, and let's make sure we work through at a pace that makes sense for our own bodies. Okay, I'll stop talking. Let's start moving. Any extra cushioning you have can go right off to the side of the mat somewhere where we can grab it nice and easily and readily in a few moments. But let's get our feet shoulder width apart with those toes pointed toward the front bottom corners of the room. We're going to stretch our fingertips down the sides of our thighs, reach them toward the outer knee joint line, just until we feel a little bit of stretch, a little bit of activity through the underside of those armpits. Let's hold that there. Close your eyes if you feel safe doing so, and pay attention to any kind of sway that you feel, any extra activity in those legs as we get used to not having our eyes be that huge contributor to our balance here. Open your eyes if they've been closed and soften up those knees. We're going to settle into a little bit deeper of a position, a little bit more grounded to the floor. And we're going to think about having a string drawing the crown of the head up to the ceiling, and that same string dropping a plumb line from our tailbone down right between our heels. As we drop our fingertips down a little bit lower, we should feel ourselves sinking and settling down toward the floor. Take a big breath in, and exhaling, we're going to draw our belly and spine toward each other, feeling that seatbelt of muscles engaged through our midsection, lowest ribs all the way down toward the top of the hips on the sides, and that pubic bone in front. And let's draw our shoulders up to the ears and down toward the waistline. Again, reach those shoulder blades up, big breath in. Exhale, drop them down. One more time, breathe in and shrug, breathe out and drop those shoulders down, and we'll squeeze and release our blades for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Squeeze the blades and then release them, drop them down a little closer to the waistline. Let's give that chin a slight nod toward the neck, and we're going to turn and look over one shoulder and turn and look over the other. Let's repeat, turn and look over one shoulder, turn and look over the other. Let's face our screen again and tip that head from side to side, ear to shoulder, lengthening out through the opposite side, and ear to shoulder, lengthening out through the opposite side. Coming right back to center, we'll open our arms out to shoulder level and then sweep them down by our sides. Open up to shoulder level, and then let's take them up and overhead. Reach those fingertips up, look toward your fingertips, and then as we breathe out, we'll look forward, dropping the shoulders down the back of the body again. Keep those elbows straight as you're comfortable doing. If you're tight underneath the armpits or in the front of the chest, we may want those arms a little bit wider, almost more like a diagonal. And let's take some sways. Upper body goes up and over. We're lifting those ribs up off the lower half of the body, and we press through our feet to bring ourselves nice and tall, right back up to center. Feel that waistline engaging through the side, mostly through the front, and then we bring our all toward the ceiling and then open them out to T with the palms facing forward and fingertips at shoulder level. Settling down with a little more of that bent knee position, let's reset belly to spine and move from our breastbone. We're going to turn that upper body. We're going to rotate side to side, moving our trunk on that long axis that goes all the way from the crown of the head down through to those tailbones. Keep taking it side to side, and then we'll come right back to middle. Let's go ahead and take a little side reach and come up tall, and we'll repeat. Take it to the other side. Bring that body up tall. Side bend, reach, and take it up, and side bend, reach, and come up nice and tall. We're going to drop our shoulders down, release the arms down by our sides, and give those shoulders a little bouncing shrug. Again, we'll tip that head from side to side. We'll bring it up nice and tall, and then let's draw our feet in a little closer to the body. Our heels are going to be lined up with our sit bones now, and our weight's going to be right over the front of our ankle joints. Let's bring our fingertips to the front of the waistline, our thumbs to the back of the waistline. Big breath in and exhale, belly to spine. Let's shift our weight from side to side, moving the body as one unit. As we continue to push our weight from one foot to the other, we're going to feel our midsection muscles kicking into those fingertips. We're going to feel our side muscles engaging the sides of our hips, the sides of our trunk, maybe even the sides of those lower legs. But without doing much, we're getting different activation through those core muscles as we move from foot to foot. Let's make some circles around our base, taking the weight toward the toes, toward the sides, and then toward the heels. Again, feeling what's going on with those muscles right underneath our fingertips and our thumbs as we shift to each different point in our range of motion. Let's circle the other way. Again, the crown of the head down to the ankles is moving as one unit. And then we pause with our weight over our toes. Spread the toes apart. Pressing the big toe and the pinky toe firmly into the floor will allow us to come a little farther forward. Feel those foot muscles engage. Feel the calves engage. And let's unweight our heels. We don't have to lift very high to feel the whole back side of the body starting to do a little work for us. Sole of the foot all the way up to those rear end muscles. Let's take it up and down on the toes, lifting just a bit, ensuring that we're keeping our weight over the balls of our feet. The farther forward that we're able to keep our weight balanced, the more likely we are to be able to keep control as we lower down. Lift and lower for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. As those heels come down, we'll shift right back over our ankle joints, and let's shake our knees out. Coming back to center, we're going to shake our wrists out a little bit too, and we're going to spread our feet a little bit wider apart again, lining them up with our shoulders. Feet are parallel to each other now, facing directly forward to the screen. The pinky side of our hands goes right to where the femur bones fold into the pelvis, and we're going to fold our pelvis forward over those hands, sending our tailbone back and the crown of the head forward. As that tailbone reaches back, we're going to notice a little bit of lengthening through the backs of our thighs, maybe from sit bone all the way through to those knees. Squeeze your glutes. We're going to feel our outer hip muscles start to engage. Bend the knees a touch further, sending the tailbone right back toward where the wall and the floor meet behind us, and we'll sweep our hands toward the mat. Let's move to a row, squeezing the blades together and tucking our elbows in just above trunk level, right at the waist. Squeezing and releasing. Squeeze those elbows together, hold them there, and then press the arms straight, reaching the hands right back to the wall behind. Press 4, press 3, press 2, and press 1. Let's bring our body up nice and tall. As the hands come down by our sides, we'll inhale, shrugging the shoulders up to the ears, and we'll exhale them down toward the sides. Tip that head to one side, lengthening out through the top of the shoulder side of the neck. And bring the head up and over to the other side. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lengthening out through the opposite side of the neck and the top of the shoulder. As we bring our head up nice and tall again, we're going to step ourselves to one side of our mat, turn to face lengthwise, and then grab any extra padding you want and place it right down on the mat in front of your knees. We're going to have that, the feet are going to be about foot to foot and a half behind that cushion, just so when we come down, the bottom of the kneecaps will rest on extra padding if you'd like it. Let's soften the knees again, and we're going to slide our hands down our sides, bringing the hands as close to the ankles as we can get them. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to get those hands down to the ankle bones. Let's sweep our fingertips toward the floor. Touch those fingertips to the floor, and then maybe we have a little more wiggle room. Maybe we can straighten and bend our knees just a little. All right, take a big breath in, and exhaling, we're going to take our hands down. We're going to walk ourselves forward. Keep the knees bent, and we draw the belly to the spine, walking our hands toward the head of our mat. Can you leave your tailbone facing up toward the top of that wall behind? Let the head relax. Let it line up between those arms. If this is not working for you, I want you to make your way right down to hands and knees. But if you are okay with this position and would like to get a little stretch through those underarms while getting those blade muscles moving, we're going to hold right here for a moment. We'll wiggle our tail side to side. As we come back to the middle, we take a big breath in, and then exhaling. Now we take our shoulders forward over the wrists, and we lower our knees down onto our extra padding or simply straight down onto the mat. Take a moment to orient your hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we're going to rock our body back and forth. We're going to take our weight back toward the heels and right back over the knees. Feel free to keep rocking back and forth, increasing that range as you see fit. This does require some increased range through the big toe, through the knees, and through the hips. So if we're hung up in any one particular spot, feel free to ease your way into that backward position. Let's come up nice and tall. We're going to turn the tops of the feet down toward the floor. Shake those feet out and tap one foot at a time just beyond the outer border of our mat. Rotate those hips inward, and what we're going to try to do is keep that waistline nice and still so the pelvis doesn't move, but the hips do. Coming back to center with those toes, cross one ankle over the other, rotating the hips the opposite direction, but again, we're doing our best to keep that pelvis from going along for the ride. Our waistline stays nice and quiet. Tap one more and come right back to center. Set the belly toward the spine, and we're going to curl that pelvis under, looking toward the thighs for cat. Send the tailbone toward the ceiling, looking forward toward that wall in front of us for cow. Again, take it to cat and to cow. Bring it up to cat. Lengthen to cow, and we'll come right back to center and wag that tail from side to side. Fold yourself in half and feel that opening through the waistline, and right underneath it on the side our hips are moving away from. Coming back to center, let's keep our elbows nice and straight, or as still as we can keep them. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and allow that chest to come gently forward toward the floor. Press through the heels of the hands, wrapping the shoulder blades forward around the front of the body, feeling some effort through the sides of those blades. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press one more time. Squeeze those blades. Press them forward, and we take our toes together, bring the knees toward the outer edges of the mat, and let's bring our bottom back toward our heels. Again, we may want to rock a little bit to ease into that position. Lower the forearms, bending the elbows, and let's slide our elbows in until they reach our inner knee joint lines. Shift that weight from side to side. As we press the weight from one side to the other, we're going to feel our inner thighs lengthen out, up right toward where they meet the center of the body, right at the pubic bone. Take the weight back to center, slide your hands forward, and let's lower our forehead toward the mat as we slide those fingertips and inch them toward the head of our mat. We're going to lower our forehead, and take a big breath in, and exhaling, wrap the shoulder blades around the front of the body. We're going to notice a little more length through the back side of the shoulder blades, right next to that upper back. Take a big breath in, feel that expansion even more. And as we breathe out now, we're going to walk our hands toward our screen. We'll pause with one hand right next to the other. Take a breath. Exhale, walk the hands to the other side. And again, take a nice breath in. Breathe it out. Bring those hands forward, and we're going to lower our forearms to the mat again. Let's shift our weight over the elbows. Slide those legs out behind you, removing any extra padding and placing it off to the side again for us to grab a little bit later. Straighten those knees out best you can. If your low back feels tight in this position, bring those feet a little bit farther apart. We're going to breathe that belly back toward the spine. Feel your midsection engage, and let's squeeze our shoulder blades together, allowing that breastbone to come down toward the floor. Press the blades the opposite direction, lifting that breastbone away from the mat. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press. One more time. Squeeze those blades together. Press them toward the mat. We'll hold here for a big breath. And then exhaling, we'll turn ourselves toward our screen, tuck the far arm underneath the body, and make our way onto our backs. Take a moment to settle in here. The back of our head, our middle back between our shoulder blades, and our sacrum, that lower wedge-shaped bone right below our belt line, are all pressed firmly into the floor. We may have a little space between our lower back. We may have a little space between our neck and the mat. Turn your palms to face the ceiling. Let's open up our arms and slide them out along the mat until we start to feel a stretch through the chest. Maybe through the breastbone, maybe through the upper portion of our arms on the front side. From here, we're going to stretch our fingertips away from the shoulder joint. So we're going to stretch out through that long axis along our arm bones. Turn the head toward the screen and turn it away. And as we turn that head from side to side, we're going to feel our chest and our neck open up on the side we're looking away from. Looking back to center, let's nod the chin and drop the breastbone down toward the floor. Get a little more contact from that mid back to the mat. And then we're going to take our lower ribs, draw them down as well. Finally, we take the belly back toward the spine, sink it down, and we're going to rock our knees toward our screen and away. Allow your hips to come up on the side that we're moving away from. We may get a few creaks and cracks. We may get a couple of pops. It's okay if we get them. It's also okay if we don't. Let's rock those knees away from the screen, then take them right back to center, and our fingertips are going to come right to the bones in the front of the pelvis. Big breath in, exhale belly to spine, and we take one knee at a time out toward each side wall before floating it right back up to the ceiling. See if you can let those hip bones move independently of the pelvis. That pelvis is facing the ceiling, our navel does not move. Now let's take the knee closest to the screen, out toward the screen. The far knee is going to rock toward the screen as well. Again, the pelvis stays still facing the ceiling. Let's windshield wiper those knees all the way over to the other side. Far knee goes out toward the far wall. Leg closest to the screen rotates inward toward that opposite wall. We'll take those knees side to side, keeping the pelvis and trunk still. There was 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take them right back to center, breathe it in, and exhaling, we reach our arms to the ceiling. Keeping that chin knotted gently toward the neck and the head and neck nice and still, let's wrap our shoulder blades up to the ceiling and then we'll lower them back down to the mat. Reach up, lower down. Reach up, lower down. Bringing those knees to tabletop, we'll repeat. Reach up, lower down. Reach up, blades come down. 2 more, reach up. Blades come down. Last time, reach those blades up. Draw the blades to the floor and our hands come to the thighs just below our kneecaps. A little closer to where the thighs fold into the pelvis. As we press our hands and our thighs toward each other, we're going to feel that midsection engaging. And then let's wiggle our knees, straighten them out and bend them. Keeping engagement through that trunk, keeping a touch of pressure through those thighs with our hands. Inhale, lift, exhale, back to tabletop. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale to tabletop, press 1 foot forward and then sweep it right back up to that same side hand. Exhale, switch it up, press forward, back to tabletop. Exhale, press. Inhale to tabletop and exhale, press. Inhale to tabletop. Float the arms to the ceiling, take a breath. And as we breathe out, our knees and ankles come together when we rock that body from side to side. Breathe the knees back to center. Extend those legs, bringing our toes toward the ceiling. And again, we rock that body from side to side. Toes toward where the wall and ceiling meet on one side. And then toes toward where the wall and ceiling meet on the other side. And let's sweep through some circles. Hips are moving. We'll feel a little bit of movement through our lower body as different points get a little more pressure through the mat. Pause at the top, breathing in and exhaling, those legs move in a corkscrew fashion the other direction. There's 4, 3, circle 2, and 1. Hug the far knee all the way into the chest, roll the shoulders back and down, and we're going to lengthen that straight leg forward and down the wall till it's hovered off the mat. Look towards your knee, tighten up that straightened thigh, and we're going to lift that leg up toward the ceiling. Keep the tailbone nice and still facing the wall in front and those pelvic bones anchored into the mat. Lengthen forward to hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen forward. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen forward. We draw that knee, bring it into the chest, and as we exhale, we lengthen our opposite leg forward to its hovered position. Stretch those toes away from center and then breathe them up toward the ceiling. Breathe them forward and down that wall toward that hover. Inhale and lift. Exhale, lengthen to hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen to hover. Inhale, knee comes into the chest and we switch our sides. Pull and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Here's 4. Switch 3. And 2. Last one. Pull that knee closest to the screen into the body. Lengthen that opposite leg through its hovered position and all the way to the mat. As we hold that bent knee into the body, we're going to draw our belly down and rock that knee across the body a little bit. We can hold with both hands or simply with the hand in the direction we're rocking toward and allow that other hip to press firmly into the floor as the bent knee side lifts up from the mat. We'll come back to center, hold it there, and hang on behind the lifted thigh. Kick your thigh into your hands. Find your hamstring length. Wiggle from tabletop position all the way up as straight as we can get that knee while keeping our trunk nice and still. Lengthen to the ceiling and we flex and point those toes. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big breath in. Exhale, draw that belly down, and we'll take our hands down by our sides. Let's take our lifted leg side to side. Press the shoulders, press the backs of the arms into the mat. We're going to try our best to keep that pelvis facing directly toward the ceiling. Side to side. It's okay if that knee needs to bend. We're going to sweep through our circles. Stir your hip in its socket. That knee could be bent as much as you need it to be. One more sweep around this direction, then we pause at the top and take a breath. As we exhale, take that circle the other way. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Give the knee a hug. Draw it into the chest, allowing the front of the hip to relax. Take a big breath in. Switch them up on the exhale. And we lengthen our other leg along the mat and rock that bent knee across the body, this time toward the screen, with both hands clasped together or with the far hand resting on the mat. Breathe back to center. Hang on behind your lifted thigh. Start in tabletop, and then we lengthen our toes to the ceiling before bending right back up. Lengthen and bend. Lengthen and bend. Lengthen those toes to the ceiling. Flex and point. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big breath in. Belly to spine on the exhale. The hands come down. Open those collarbones away from center, and we take our lifted leg from side to side. Again, we're doing our best to keep that pelvis facing the ceiling. You're welcome to take your fingertips to the bones in front of the pelvis if you need a little monitoring there. One more time, out to the side. Sweep that leg up and over, and we move through our circles. Again, decide if we need to bend the knee a little more, if we need to straighten the knee a little more. We'll pause at the top, take a breath, and breathing out, we circle the other way. 4, 3, 2. Breathe in at the top, hug that knee into the chest, releasing the front of the hip. Take a big breath in. As we exhale, we roll our shoulders back and down. We hug the opposite knee into the chest, and then we're going to hold on with one hand behind each thigh. Press the thighs forward, flex up those feet, and look toward your knees as we draw the belly down toward the mat. Hold. Let's reach our arms to the ceiling. We'll point our toes now, and the arm closest to the screen goes back. Far leg stretches toward the wall in front. Switch sides. Alternate at a speed that's making sense for you, that allows you to keep connected to those midsection muscles. We're thinking about pulling our bent knee as far away from our straight leg as we possibly can, and about extending those fingertips back as far as we can as our toes come forward. Let's pause with one knee bent in. If we want to challenge this a little more, stretch those toes to the ceiling, and we repeat with straight legs. It's up to you whether those legs are straight or bent. Alternate through for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. The legs come to the ceiling, arms come to the ceiling. If the knees have been bent to tabletop, we're going to straighten them out as best we can. Glue the ankles and knees together and reset belly to spine. We'll float our arms down by our sides and breathe the feet out toward the side walls. Lengthen into V and then zip those feet together. Exhale and open. Inhale, feet together. Exhale, open. Inhale, feet together. And one more time. Exhale, press those feet away. Inhale them toward each other. We're going to flex the feet, turn the heels together and toes apart, and we bring our heels in for frog. Hold them there. Grab onto your shins wherever you can grab them, maybe up at the kneecaps, maybe even down by the ankles. We're going to pull our heels in a little closer to the midsection of the body and give the shoulders a roll back and down. Holding here, we're moving into a little spider stretch, spider hang. We're going to rock that body side to side. Let the belly draw down a little closer to the floor. And then we bring our heels up a little bit higher than knee level. Pressing the hands into the floor, let's breathe out, stretching those heels forward to the wall in front. And then we breathe into frog, knees apart, heels together. Exhale and press. Inhale to frog. Exhale, press. Inhale to frog. One more time. Exhale, press. Hold them there, point the toes. Turn the legs parallel to each other and sweep them up to the ceiling. Let's hug everything into center and rock that body side to side. Breathing into center now, we take our heels down to the mat. Knees are bent, heels line up with the middle of each cheek, right with our sit bones, and our hands are pressed into the floor. Let's curl our pelvis, flattening the low back, curling the tail between our legs and bringing it toward our breastbone. Reverse lengthening the tailbone to the heels. Again, curl and reverse. Coming back to center, let's squeeze our glutes and press up to bridge. As we press our heels down, our hips have lifted up as best we can get them to. Lengthen the knees toward the wall in front. We breathe in and breathing out, we take that body down. Tap those hips to the floor, release the glutes, and then squeeze them again, lifting up to the ceiling. Lower the hips, squeeze and lift. Lower the hips, squeeze and lift. Lower the hips, squeeze and lift. One more time, lower the hips, squeeze and lift. Hold those hips up in the air, take it up and down on the toes for 8, for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take those heels down, breathe and breathe out, coming down to the mat. Release the glutes at the bottom, give those knees a side to side rock, allowing your hip to come up on the side we're moving away from. One more time, rock toward that screen, and one more time, we rock away. Bring in back to center, take that breath again. Belly to spine on the exhale, squeeze and lift. Hold those hips in the air, and we bring one knee at a time out toward each side wall. Side to side, side to side. Repeat for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Breathe in at the top and breathe down. Release those hips at the bottom, rock those knees toward the screen, and rock them away. One more time to each, rock toward the screen and rock away. Coming back to center, take that breath. Belly to spine on the exhale, squeeze, and we're going to lift our hips about halfway. Press your heels into the floor, keep those glutes engaged, and press your arms down into the mat. We're going to unweight 1 foot at a time, just a touch. So the heels press firmly into the mat on one side, and they unweight a bit on the other. We're going to try to do that, walking from side to side without actually letting your lighter foot leave the floor. We're going to feel engagement build through our glute, maybe through the top of the hamstring. On the side, we're bearing more weight through. We're going to repeat for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Equal weight through those heels. Lift the hips up a bit higher. Take a big breath in. Exhaling, we bridge down. Release at the bottom, and let's rock the pelvis toward 12 o'clock. Flatten the low back. Pubic bone toward breastbone. Reverse, lengthening the tailbone toward the heels. Again, curl it up and reverse. Coming back to center, breathing in and exhaling, we breathe out, squeeze and lift those hips up. We're going to roll through a march to finish up. One knee comes up at a time. Keep those hips level as you can. Press through your heel, feel the glutes engage. 4, 3, press through that floor. And 1. Feet come down, lower those hips and release at the bottom. Let's cross one ankle over the other knee. As that knee comes out to the side, see if we have a little more slack to lift up. We can keep the shoulders and the neck nice and calm. You're welcome to lift up into that lifted figure 4. Either way, we rock away from our crossed over side, giving a wiggle into the outer hip. Let's take a big breath in and breathe back to center before switching that up. Ankle to knee. Knee floats out to the side and we lift. Hold it up at the top and rock. Rock away from that crossed over leg. Again, we take a big breath in. We take a big breath out. Coming back to center. Draw those knees in. Let's hang on to our kneecaps. We'll take our feet down to the mat. And let's turn ourselves toward our screen and make our way all the way up to hands and knees. Grab that extra padding for under the knees if you'd like. And we're going to hold up here on all fours. Big breath in, belly to spine on the exhale. Let's curl through cat, reversing to cow. Curl through cat, reverse to cow. Come back to neutral, wag your tail side to side with those arms nice and still. Coming back to center, we're going to move to shoulder taps. Press one heel of one hand firmly into the mat, and the opposite hand taps the shoulder. Tap 4. Tap 3, tap 2, tap 1. Let's take this a little bit more challenging. Let's take the pinkies out to the outer borders of our mat, it's a little wider base. Big breath in, belly to spine on that exhale. And again, we tap our hand to the opposite shoulder. Pay attention to what's going on under your knees. We have a little bit more work going on through one side versus the other, depending on what arm is lifted. Tap and tap. Those hands go right back underneath the shoulders. Breathe to cat, breathe to cow, and come back to center. Keeping our core engaged, we walk our hands forward and then open your hips toward the floor. We're going to shift the shoulders back over the wrists. Take that body weight from side to side, pushing the floor away with the heels of the hands. We'll come back to center, turn the toes under, and let's make our way up to plank. If we need more support, those knees stay on the mat. We'll shift toward the screen and away. Again, toward the screen and away. Come back to the center, tap one foot at a time, just beyond the border of the mat. If we're on our knees, we're tapping one knee at a time, just beyond the outer borders of our mat. Tap 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and take our knees down underneath our hips. Shake those wrists out. Hands come down. We curl up to cat again. We reverse to cow. Coming back to center, take that leg closest to the screen and slide it back. Arc it to the side wall and press that foot into the floor. Hold here. Lengthen through your inner thigh on that outstretched leg. And then out of rock back. We can take it back and forth small range first, and then maybe we take it all the way back toward that heel. Keep the rock going. And one more. Rock back. Take it up, press through the hands. We're going to lengthen the leg back. Draw it into the other side and lengthen the opposite leg behind the body. Arc it to the side, press that foot to the floor and lengthen through your inner thigh. Let's rock back and take it up. We'll rock back and take it up. 2 more, rock back. Take it up, and last time through, rock that bottom back. And take it up. Lengthen the leg back. Lift it up. Doing our best to line the heel up with our rear end, and we'll take our other arm forward. Hold your bird dog. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch. Lengthen and reach. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch it up again. Lengthen and reach. There's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time through. Lengthen and reach. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down. Knee comes down. Curl the cat. Reverse to cow. We're going to come back to center. Take the forearms to the mat. Cushioning comes out from under the knees again. And we'll lengthen down again, resting on those thighs like we did when we were warming up. Squeeze your blades. Press them forward and kick a heel to the bottom before switching to the other side. Kick, kick. Kick, kick. Kick, kick. Kick, kick. Here's 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Lengthen the legs back. We're going to turn on our side, propping up on our forearms. So elbow and shoulder are lined up. Knees are forward, heels are lined up with the bottom. Let's take that top hand to the waistline. Lift up. We should feel some engagement through the sides of those underarms. We're going to take our top arm to the ceiling. Release that top shoulder, excuse me, down the back. Press through your forearm, and if you have a little more lift in you, we can take that hip up. If this feels good, we'll keep the hip lifted. If not, that hip comes back down to the mat. Either way, our top hand comes down in front and we raise it up. Again, take it down, raise it up. Thread the needle with that arm. Reach it through, look toward the far wall. Inhale to the ceiling. Thread the needle. Inhale up. Lower the hip if it's been lifted. We'll take ourselves up to a sitting position. Give that weight bearing side a little roll. Tip that head away from it. Take a big breath. We'll come up nice and tall. We're going to repeat on our other side. Resting on that bottom arm again. Elbow and shoulder line up. Knees are forward and our heel lines up with our bottom. Lift up that waistline. Float your top arm to the ceiling. And if we have a little more to give, we can lift that hip up. Stay there or lower it back down. Top arm comes down. Lift it up. Float it forward. Lift it up. Float it forward. Lift it up. And one more time. Float it forward. Reach through. Thread the needle. And take it up. Thread the needle. And take it up. Do we have 2 more here? Thread the needle. Reach it up. And 1 more. Arm comes to the ceiling. We'll lower that hip down. Let's come up nice and tall. Let's take a seat on our mat with our feet in front of us. Heels are together, knees are together. Feet can be forward as much as we need them to be, so our weight is right up on the front of our sit bones. We're going to take our hands right down by the sides and turn the fingertips to face outward just slightly. Let's give our shoulders a few rolls up and down, a few rolls backward. We'll tip our head away from the side we just bore the weight through. And let's come up nice and tall. Reset belly to spine. Flex your feet. We're going to stretch our heels out in front of us just a little bit. We want to see if we can get a little length through the backs of our thighs while keeping our trunk up nice and tall. Let's take our arms out to shoulder level. Take a breath. Breathe out belly to spine, and airplane arms are going to happen now. We're going to take our fingertips to each side. Sit bones stay pressed into the mat. We're going to tip our bodies to the sides, letting our arms go along for the ride. Can we take those pinkies all the way down to the mat without losing contact between our opposite sit bone and the floor? Come on back to center, breathe in. Exhale the hands slightly farther forward, and moving from the breastbone, we're going to rotate. Turn to look toward one side wall and toward the other. Again, turn and look toward one side wall. Turn and look to the other. Take it right back to the center. Arms come down, give the shoulders a roll. Excellent. Okay, we are going to turn quarter turn, so we are lengthwise on that mat now. Grab your shins, bring the heels back in line with the body, and we're going to lean that body back till we're resting just behind our tailbone. Arms are soft like we're holding a beach ball, and we draw the belly to the spine. Let's come up onto our tiptoes and see if we can take our hands out to a narrow V. Hold it here and walk the toes and knees toward each other. Rock your knees from side to side. Trunk stays nice and still and facing the wall in front. If we need a little more support for the back, we bring that body up nice and tall and come right back to center. Feet come slightly apart, heels come down. We move our hands to the outer knee joint lines. Press the hands and knees together, and again, we lengthen the body back. This time we face directly forward and open and close one arm at a time. As we press our hand into that thigh, we're going to feel that trunk activation. Particularly on the side, we're pressing. Open and close. There's 4. There's 3. Last 2. And 1. Grab the shins, pull up nice and tall. Give the shoulders a roll back, and those hands go right back behind the body. Fingertips pointing out toward the screen and the side wall. Squeeze your blades and send that breastbone up. We're going to inch our bottom forward toward those feet. Feel your upper arms stretch out. Feel that chest open up. And we walk our heels back toward the bottom to get a little more leverage toward that chest stretch. If we have a little more room to move, lift your hips up, maybe just part way. Maybe even extend them, lifting them up so they're close to knee height. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the bottom, we'll turn to face our screen, shake those wrists out, and let's make our way to our side. We'll rest on our bottom arm. Knees are forward, and we lift our waistline from the mat. Take that top hand to the waistline, and we're going to take our knee up and down. Lift for 4. Pelvis stays still. 3, 2, and 1. Take the knee down. Press the top hand into the mat. Top knee stays still. Straighten the bottom leg. That toe is going to stay in line with the knee, and we lift that top knee up and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend up the knees again. Press the top leg up for hydrants. Whole top leg comes up and down. 3, 2, and 1. Back to hip height. Extend that bottom leg in line with the body. Lift and lower to hydrants. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend those knees. Lift the feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet come down, straighten the legs, lift them both up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs come back to center. Bend up the knees. We're going to take our feet up, our knee up, our knee down, feet down, lift. Take the knee up, knee down, feet down. 2 more. Lift and lift. Lower and lower. Last time. Lift and lift. Lower the knee. Lower the feet, press your feet into the floor. We're going to finish this side by lifting our knees for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Pat that hip out, and let's take ourselves up and over to the other side. Take a moment, maybe shake everything out on that side we were just lying on. And then as we come to our other side, we'll bend up those knees. Hand comes to the waistline. Let's take that top knee up and down. There's 4. Lift 3. Lift 2. Lift 1. Take the knees down. Top hand comes to the mat. Stretch the bottom leg straight. Take the knee up and down with the top toes staying in contact with the bottom knee. Lift 3. Lift 2. Lift 1. Bend the knee up. Bend the opposite leg. Move to hydrants. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. Straighten that bottom leg. Lift to hydrants again. 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. Bend both knees. Knee comes down. Lift the feet. Lift 3. Got to shake it up a little. And 1. Straighten those legs out. Legs are glued together. Lift them up and down. 3, 2, 1. Take them down. Bend up the knees. Lift the feet. Lift the knee. Lower the knee. Take the feet down. Lift and lift. Lower and lower. Lift and lift. Knee down. Feet down. Last time. Lift the feet. Lift the knee. Lower the knee. Lower the feet. Hold them there. Press the hand and the feet into the floor. Lift up those knees. There's 4. Lift 3. And 2. Last one. Take those knees down. Pat your hip out and let's bring ourselves to our backs. Take a moment once we're here with our hands by our sides. We'll bend our knees up, lining the heels up with our hips. Let the knees draw in toward each other for some support. And let the whole back side of the body get nice and heavy and rest into the mat. Take our knees apart.
I couldn't find yourselves.
And take them together. Take them apart. Bring them together. Rock the knees toward the screen. And rock them away. Let's repeat. Rock toward the screen. Let your far hip lift up if that feels appropriate. Rock them away. Letting the hip on the screen side lift up if that feels appropriate. Coming back to center. Cross an ankle over the other knee. We can keep those shoulders and neck muscles relaxed. We can lift up. Find your figure 4. Rock away from that cross side. Take a breath. Breathe out back to center and switch them up. Ankle to knee. Lift up again to figure 4 if that's working for you. And we rock away from that crossed over side. Big breath in. And breathe back to center. We'll unwind, giving those knees a hug, and let's take our feet to the mat. Let's turn ourselves toward our screen. We'll bring ourselves to a crouch position, hands and knees without the knees on the floor. And then let's walk ourselves back, centering our weight over our ankle joints before we come up nice and tall. All right, take a moment, particularly if you tend to be lightheaded, changing positions. Get your bearings before we make our way to the center of our mat. Once we're there, those feet are sit bone distance apart. Hands are right on the waistline. Lift those toes up. Look down at your toes and spread them apart. Feel that stretch across the top of the foot. Let's place our toes down on the mat, stretching the big toe and the pinky away from each other. We're going to shift our weight to one side. Let's lift up to the toes of the other leg. Let's see if we can lift up onto our tiptoes of the other leg. And then maybe we can bring ourselves to single leg balance. Feel free to find something to hold on to. Feel free to keep your toes down for just a little bit of extra input. Grow the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Grow a little taller. Hold it here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's float that foot back down. Shift away from that standing leg. And as we shift our weight, we come up onto the ball of the foot on the other side. We come up to our tiptoes. And if we can, we float up into single leg balance. Again, finding something to hold if you need it. Hold 4, hold 3, 2, and 1. Let's take those feet down. Shake those wrists out. Heels are shoulder width apart. Shake those legs. And we'll settle our weight back toward our heels. Breathe in, shrug to the ears. Breathe out, drop those shoulders down. Breathe in, arms come out, up and overhead. And as we bring our feet together, we'll look toward our hands and press the palms toward each other. Exhaling to center. Excellent work. As usual, have a good weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.